Hello, my brush lads, lasses, and everybody in between. Welcome back to Partners with MTG, and I hope everyone had a wonderful holiday. For today's deck tech, I wanted to kick off the new year with something explosive. So we'll be taking a look at Progenitus, the massive 10-10 for 10 with protection from everything. Strap in, because this is going to be a fun one. But before we begin, if you like what we do here, please shoot us a sub and leave us a comment for who your favorite explosive commander is. Progenitus is a 10-10 Hydra avatar who casts for double Wooburg. That's right, 2 of each color, not an easy target to hit, especially early on. To make up for this, he also comes with protection from everything, meaning he can't be targeted, enchanted, blocked, or dealt damage by any source from any player. So the only way to deal with him involved making his owner sacrifice him, countering him before he can enter the battlefield, mass bouncing the board, or full board wipes. Sorry, Red. Since Progenitus serves as a threat who demands to be answered, our goal is to turn him into a one-shot kill using one of the few forms we have of boosting his power, the Exalted mechanic. See, when a creature attacks alone, it gets +1/+1 for each instance of Exalted amongst permanents we control, meaning that we can turn Progenitus into a 1-hit or 2-hit kill by packing the board with enough Exalted. Our secondary strategy is making sure that we can hit all 5 colors of mana as soon as possible, something we aim to do in 2 ways. Running as many tap for any color of mana lands as we can, within a fair budget, and using treasure tokens. Let's start by looking at our sources of Exalted. Our first batch of Exalted Creatures serve basically just as bodies for Exalted and nothing more. They may have a keyword along with it, but their main goal is just to help pump Progenitus. These include Akracyn Squire, Aven Squire, Court Archers, Goblin Champion, Guardians of Akrasa, Knight of Glory, Knight of Infamy, Sigiled Paladin, Wave Skimmer Aven, and even the land Cathedral of War. For some utility, we also have Exalted sources that offer added benefits. Battle Grace Angel grants lifelink to the solo attacker until end of turn. Dawnray Archer can ping attackers or blockers for 1. Duty Bound Dead can regenerate itself. Gilt Spire Avenger can blow up a creature that's damaged us this turn. Neferox forces an opponent to sacrifice a creature when he attacks alone. Qasali Pridemage can sacrifice itself to blow up an enchantment or artifact. Sighted Castle Sorcerer can give itself Shroud, and Sublime Archangel grants extra Exalted to all of our other creatures. While Angelic Benediction and Finest Hour are each enchantments with Exalted that also let the solo attacking creature either tap down a target creature in the case of the Benediction, or giving us extra combat steps in the case of Finest Hour. Our next batch of cards focus on generating treasure for us, which we can sacrifice to generate mana of any color. With Progenitus' high mana requirement and us being a 5-color deck, having quick access to all of our colors is essential. Gleaming Barrier and Impulsive Pilferer generate a treasure token upon death, with the Pilferer being able to encore itself later for more treasure. Kalane Reclusive Painter makes us a treasure when she enters the battlefield, as well as gives us a +1/+1 counter on any creature card cast using treasure, with the amount of counters equal to how much treasure was used, making Progenitus an even bigger threat. Prosperous Pirates and Rapacious Dragon each make multiple treasures upon entering the battlefield, while Zorn, who doesn't make treasure itself, lets us make extra treasures whenever another source we have makes treasure. Goldvein Pick creates a treasure when the creature it is equipped to deals combat damage to a player, while Tempting Contract offers our opponents the chance to make treasure on our upkeep, and gives us a treasure for each opponent who does. Our final treasure generating artifact is Treasure Chest, though its treasure isn't actually guaranteed. We have to pay for and sacrifice it to roll a d20, with the chest only supplying 5 treasure tokens if we roll between a 2 and a 9, though its other modes of gaining life and drawing cards, or straight up tutoring for anything and getting it into play for free if it's an artifact, aren't bad options. An incredibly large amount of our instants and sorceries also generate treasure in one form or another, while also offering added benefits depending on the card. Creative Outburst, Deadly Dispute, Hornswoggle, Smashing Success, Sudden Breakthrough, Unexpected Windfall, Brass's Bounty, Contract Killing, Crack Open, Elemental Masterpiece, Grim Bounty, Pirate's Pillage, Pirate's Prize, Reckless Endeavor, Seize the Spoils, and Shiny Impetus all generate treasure tokens to some degree, while offering a vast collection of effects ranging from card draw to permanent destruction to even a counterspell, just to name a few. There should be able to help us keep the board clear and keep ourselves protected while building up a massive stack of treasures to bring out Progenitus. Our final major category is Ramp. While treasures do a good job of that on their own, they are also only one-time uses, so having access to all of our colors through mana rocks or land ramp should be another priority. Solemn Simulacrum fetches any basic land for us when it enters the battlefield, and also draws us a card when it dies. We run classic green staples like Circuitous Root, Cultivate, Explosive Vegetation, Kodama's Reach, Migration Path, Rampant Growth, Search for Tomorrow, and Omen of the Hunt to thin our deck as well as to fill our field with lands of all colors. If those aren't enough, we also have mana rocks in Soul Ring, Firemind Vessel, Darksteel Ingot, Chromatic Lantern, and Altar of the Pantheon to generate even more mana for us. Before moving on to our lands, we do have one final card that doesn't fit our previous categories, but was too good with Progenitus to not include. Knight of New Alara. A 2/2 for 4, the Knight gives all of our other multicolored creatures an additional +1/+1 for each of their colors, making Progenitus a baseline 15/15 and putting him very close to a one-hit kill shot. As for our mana base, I wanted to keep things budget friendly while still being effective, so no shocks or duels or the like. We lean heavily into basic lands since we have so many sources that tutor them up, as well as a bunch of lands that can tap for any color, though some of them come with some form of downside. Feel free to take this section with a grain of salt and upgrade it as you see fit. Archway Commons, Gateway Plaza, Rupture Spire, and Transguild Promenade are all identical, entering tapped and requiring us to pay 1 whenever they enter, or we have to sacrifice them, but they can then tap for any color that we want. Command Tower taps for any color, no strings attached. Exotic Orchard taps for any color our opponents have. Survivor's Encampment can turn any of our untapped creatures into mana dorks, and the World Tree, with some help, lets all of our lands tap for any color. We run the 5 Vivid lands in Vivid Crag, Creek, Grove, Marsh, and Meadow, who can each tap for their respective colors, or can tap for any color up to twice due to the counters that they enter with. Past that, we run 5 basic plains, 5 basic islands, 5 basic swamps, 6 basic mountains, and 5 basic forests to round out our mana base. And we are ready to go. Thanks for joining me on today's Deck Tech. I hope you have as much fun with this Progenitus build as I have. Remember to shoot us a sub, leave us a comment, and ring that little bell so that you never miss an upload. Later, Planeswalkers.